Have you ever wondered who won every single Royal Rumble match? Probably not, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Burning Hammer. We are the entertainment side of sports entertainment, and in this video I'm going to go over every single Royal Rumble winner there ever was in the history of the Royal Rumble match. But first, if you want to see who invented the Royal Rumble match, click the link up in one of these corners. The Royal Rumble event is the most exciting match in the history of professional wrestling. 30 superstars battle it out in one match to try to get their name etched in history forever. There have been over 30 winners since the match started in 1988, which means there's going to be over 30 winners, so let's jump right into it. 1988, Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Hacksaw Jim Duggan entered the match as the 13th entrant and would go on to win the first ever Royal Rumble match, which aired on an episode of Monday Night Raw. Now, this was the first ever Royal Rumble match, so they didn't have the stipulation to where the winner would go on to main event WrestleMania until 1993, and there were only 20 superstars in this match. 1989, Big John Studd. Big John Studd entered the match as the 27th entrant, and this would be the first year that they had 30 participants in this match. He would outlast everyone, and then he would eventually throw out Ted DiBiase to win the whole thing. 1990, Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan entered the 1990 Royal Rumble match as the 25th entrant, and he won the whole thing after he eliminated Mr. Perfect. 1991, Hulk Hogan. In 1991, Hulk Hogan would become the first ever wrestler to win not only 2 Royal Rumble matches, but do it in back-to-back years. He would go on to eliminate Earthquake and become the 5th ever Royal Rumble winner. 1992, Ric Flair. Ric Flair won the 1992 Royal Rumble match and ultimately the WWF Championship, which was the first time a title was ever on the line for a Royal Rumble match. He entered the match as the 3rd participant and he lasted for nearly an hour. 1993, Yokozuna. Yokozuna established that the biggest guys are always the biggest threats in the Royal Rumble match after he won it in 1993, entering as the 27th participant. He would go on to main event WrestleMania 9 and he would beat Bret Hart for the WWF Championship. 1994, Lex Luger and Bret the Hitman Hart. Lex Luger and Bret Hart became the first ever co-winners as they both eliminated each other, but both of their feet hit the floor at the same time. Now, they both would go on to face Yokozuna at WrestleMania in separate matches, but ultimately Bret Hart was the only person to beat him. 1995, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels made history that year as he was the first ever wrestler to enter the match at number 1 and win the whole thing. However, Shawn Michaels lasted under 40 minutes in the match, which is kind of shocking, especially since he entered at number 1 and he would come up short at WrestleMania 11 in his match against Diesel. 1996, Shawn Michaels. Shawn Michaels etched his name into history forever as he became the 2nd ever wrestler to win the Royal Rumble not only twice, but also back-to-back years. He entered the match as the 18th entrant and would go on to win the entire damn thing, and then he would go on to beat Bret Hart at WrestleMania 12 in a 60-minute Iron Man match. 1997, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold won the 1997 Royal Rumble match after entering as the 5th entrant. Now, even though Stone Cold won the Royal Rumble, he did not go on to compete for a title in the main event of WrestleMania because he was technically eliminated from the Royal Rumble, although he cheated to get his way back in, and then they had a fatal 4-way match against Stone Cold and the 3 people who he eliminated after he was technically eliminated. He lost the fatal 4-way to where the winner was going to compete in the main event of WrestleMania, so then Stone Cold faced off against Bret Hart in a submission match. 1998, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin became the 3rd person to ever win the Royal Rumble twice and do it in back-to-back years. He would go on to beat Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14 for the WWF Championship. 1999, Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon entered the match as the 2nd entrant and he would sadly go on to win the whole thing despite only eliminating one person who was Stone Cold, which ultimately was the final person he had to eliminate to win the whole match. However, despite Vince McMahon winning the Royal Rumble match, he forfeited his spot in the main event of WrestleMania and gave it to The Rock. 2000, The Rock. The Rock won his first ever Royal Rumble after he entered as the 24th entrant. However, he would go on to lose a fatal 4-way match at WrestleMania 16. 2001, Stone Cold Steve Austin. Stone Cold Steve Austin would make history as the one and only wrestler to ever win the Royal Rumble 3 times, as he entered at the 27th entrant to win his 3rd Royal Rumble match. He would go on to beat The Rock at WrestleMania 17 to become your WWF champion. 2002, Triple H. Triple H won the Royal Rumble after entering as the 22nd entrant. He would make his legendary return in epic fashion and would go on to win the title he had to relinquish at WrestleMania 18. 2003, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar won his first ever Royal Rumble match at just the age of 26. He would go on to enter the match as the 29th entrant and win the whole thing, and would go on to beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19. 2004, Chris Benoit. Chris Benoit won the Royal Rumble after entering as the first entrant. 2005, Batista. Batista won the Royal Rumble after he entered at the 28th spot and would go on to beat Triple H at WrestleMania 21. 2006, Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio won the 2006 Royal Rumble after he entered the match as the 2nd participant. He would go on to beat Kurt Angle and Randy Orton at WrestleMania 22. 2007, The Undertaker. The Undertaker won the Royal Rumble after entering as the 30th entrant, and he would go on to beat Batista at WrestleMania 23. 2008, John Cena. John Cena won the Royal Rumble after he entered as the 30th entrant. He came back in 4 months from an injury that usually takes 9 months to come back from. However, he did lose in the triple threat match at WrestleMania 24. 2009, Randy Orton. Randy Orton won the Royal Rumble from the 8th spot, however, he would go on to lose to Triple H at WrestleMania 25. 2010, Edge. Edge would go on to win the Royal Rumble as he entered from the 29th spot, however, he would lose to Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 26. 2011, Alberto Del Rio. This would be the first Royal Rumble match since 1988 that wasn't a 30-man match, because it was a 40-man match. Del Rio won the match after entering as the 38th entrant, however, he would go on to lose to Edge at WrestleMania 27. 2012, Sheamus. Sheamus would win the 2012 Royal Rumble match after he entered as the 22nd entrant, and he would go on to beat Daniel Bryan at WrestleMania 28. 2013, John Cena. John Cena etched his name in history as he became the 4th person to win the Royal Rumble twice. He entered as the 19th entrant and would go on to beat The Rock at WrestleMania 29. 2014, Batista. Batista became the 5th person to ever win the Royal Rumble twice and the only person to ever win it from the same spot twice. However, he would go on to lose to Daniel Bryan when he was the champion at WrestleMania 30. 2015, Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns would enter the Royal Rumble as the 19th entrant and would go on to win the entire thing. He would go on to face Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 31, however, this was when Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase, which turned the match into a triple threat match. Ultimately, Seth Rollins walked away with the title. 2016, Triple H. Triple H won the 2016 Royal Rumble match and became the WWE champion by doing so. Roman Reigns was forced to put his title on the line for the Royal Rumble match, and then Triple H ended up winning after he eliminated Dean Ambrose. 2017, Randy Orton. Randy Orton became the 7th person to ever win the Royal Rumble twice after he entered at the 26th spot. Randy Orton would become the 7th person to ever win the Royal Rumble twice after he entered from the 23rd spot. He would go on to beat Bray Wyatt at WrestleMania 33. 2018, Shinsuke Nakamura. Nakamura won the Royal Rumble after he entered as the 14th entrant. However, he came up short in his match against AJ Styles at WrestleMania 34. 2018, Asuka. Asuka won the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match after she entered as the 25th entrant. However, she would go on to lose to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 34. 2019, Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins won his first ever Royal Rumble match after he entered as the 19th participant, and he would go on to beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 35. 2019, Becky Lynch. Becky Lynch won the Royal Rumble after she entered as the 28th entrant. She would go on to beat Charlotte Flair and Ronda Rousey for both titles in the main event of WrestleMania 35. 2020, Drew McIntyre. Drew was at the top of WWE once he won the Royal Rumble after he entered as the 16th entrant. He would go on to beat Brock Lesnar and become your new champion at WrestleMania 36. 2020, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair won the 2020 Royal Rumble match after she entered as the 17th entrant. She would go on to beat Rhea Ripley for the NXT Women's Championship at WrestleMania 36. 2021, Edge. Edge won the Royal Rumble after he entered as the first entrant. Now this would be the third time a wrestler has ever won the Royal Rumble entering from the number 1 spot. However, he would lose in a triple threat match to Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 37. 2021, Bianca Belair. Bianca Belair won the 2021 Royal Rumble after she entered as the third participant. She would go on to beat Sasha Banks at WrestleMania 37. 2022, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar became the 8th person to win the Royal Rumble twice. He would later lose to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 38 in a winner-takes-all match. 2022, Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey won the 2022 Royal Rumble after she entered as the 28th entrant. However, she would go on to lose to Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 38. 2023, Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes won the 2023 Royal Rumble after he made a comeback from an injury and entered as the 30th entrant. However, he would go on to lose in a controversial way to Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 39. 2023, Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley won the Royal Rumble after she entered as the first entrant, and she would go on to last for over an hour in the match. Plus, she would even go on to beat Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania 39. Alright, so that was every Royal Rumble winner in the history of the Royal Rumble event. You let me know in the comments down below which Royal Rumble victory was your favorite, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more wrestling content. I'll catch you in the next video.